Hey there everyone, it's me Ryan here back for another edition of the Great Valley Sports Show. This week, the Sixers and Flyers are winning most of their games. What? Something's going on and we're going to have to look into it on this episode. Alright, let's just jump right into it with the 76ers. They are sitting very pretty in first place in the Eastern Conference after winning 8 out of their last 10 games and even getting their first win without Joel Embiid. And that win without Joel Embiid, which came this past Sunday against the Pacers, was a really great win because for a while it was looking like another one of those games where we'd be winless without Joel Embiid. I mean, at one point in the fourth quarter we were down double digits, but both a strong offensive-defensive push by the team was able to help catapult this team back into the lead and able to hold off against a relatively decent Pacers team. And speaking of Joel, when he does play, this team is godlike. No, I'm just kidding. But this team does have a really respectable record at 14-2 when he is on the court. And in other good news for the Sixers, their head coach, Doc Rivers, he got named Eastern Conference Head Coach of the Month, which is awesome because, well, he's really been fantastic this year. The way he's been able to help Tobias Harris become an outstanding player, as well as implement Shake Milton, who's kind of like our big sixth man. And then, finally, the way he's been able to win a ton of games in the clutch final minutes of games when teams are pretty much even. I mean, the Sixers have had a really good record this year at pulling out close wins. And now it's time to go over the Sixers schedule. If you don't like watching Sixers basketball, don't. But if you do like watching Sixers basketball, we have an awesome week upcoming. Because tonight, we're facing off against the Hornets. Then tomorrow, we're facing off against the Trailblazers. Saturday, it's against the Nets. And then we're ending off this week, Tuesday, against the Kings. And now it's time to go over some Flyers hockey. As for the Flyers, I mean, this team doesn't even make any sense. They're getting outshot literally every game, and yet they've just recently ripped off 4 straight wins, beating both the Devils in 2 games and most recently the Islanders. And as for those 2 Islander games, I mean, both of those wins came in overtime, which is incredible because last year, all 3 of our playoff wins against the Islanders were also in overtime. So once we get to overtime, I mean, we're great against the Islanders. In regulation, not as much. But in fact, let's see some of those game winners that we were able to have over the past 2 years.
Off the glass. Now Myers at the point. His shot scores! Phil Myers from downtown. Here's Provorov. A wrist shot. They score! The Flyers win in overtime with traffic out in front. But Hayes shut by Barzell. Up top, cruising is Provorov. He scores! Ivan Provorov wins it in overtime.
Swerves to the middle, gets some room, holds, shot, he scores! Scott Lutton! He's the shot, save made, rebound Giroux, back out the shot by Hayes, he scores! Another overtime winner for the Flyers, a power play goal, 4-3 the final.
And the final mention for those Islander games, the most recent one, which was on Sunday, Joel Farabee had a hat trick, which was awesome. And it was really important because, well, we needed all 3 of those goals that he got in that hat trick just to even make it to overtime. And now time to look at the Flyers schedule, just like the Sixers, they're playing tonight, although they're playing against the Bruins, and then Friday they're also playing against the Bruins. And then they start a 2-game series against the Capitals, which is next week, both on Sunday and on Tuesday. And finally, as it is Black History Month, we're going over very important black athletes in the history of sports, this week being Kobe Bryant. The reason that I chose Kobe Bryant is that the 1-year anniversary of his death was just a few weeks ago, and he was one of the greatest basketball players to ever really play the game. And some lifetime stats for Kobe: he was a 5-time NBA champion, he was an 18-time NBA All-Star, he made the All-NBA first team 11 times, he even won 2 gold medals, and he did so much more than just that. Kobe Bryant also did a lot off the court, as he was able to help establish the Kobe and Vanessa Bryant Family Foundation, he was able to advocate for children fighting terminal illness, he was able to help tons of women in sports, and overall was able to donate a lot of money to people who really needed it. So that is why Kobe Bryant is this week's Black History player, and that just about wraps up this sports show. So make sure you tune in next Wednesday. We're going to get more Sixers action, we're going to get more Flyers action, we're going to get another Black History player. It's all going to be exciting, but until then, goodbye!